Good morning. It's Wednesday, October 30, the day before Halloween. This video covers two media events that I attempted to attend or did attend in October. The first was a union forum nearby that was closed to the public and open to the press. I tried to get in as press and was not successful. Many union members attended the forum, and I can certainly understand why the public was not invited. The second forum, about 2 weeks later, was sponsored by Lulac, a Hispanic group. I was able to attend that. I got film of the four speakers at the Lulac Forum. The first was a forum put on by the United Food and Commercial Workers Union, which has almost 1.3 million members. Among the membership are folk who work in slaughterhouses and poultry. It was held quite near where I'm staying, and it drew national media. This union is surprisingly, I would use the word democratic, but I don't mean it in a political sense. This was the second forum that it has held. The first one was in Michigan. And at the conclusion of this forum, to which I understand all of the Democratic candidates were invited, although some, like Elizabeth Warren, did not attend, the moderator said that the union's goal was to present to the union membership the views of every person running for president of the United States. And he told his members that that included President Trump. So the union's going to invite President Trump to attend such a forum to answer questions. And whether he attends or not, who knows? Many of these union members live in states that voted for Trump, and I think it can be said that many of these union members voted for Trump. The mechanics of attending the union forum were straightforward. It was held in a facility which is adjacent to a large casino, which also includes a horse racing track, so there was miles of parking. It was only open to members of the press who had registered in advance. 6 candidates spoke at the forum, 3 senators, 1 mayor, 1 governor, and 1 vice president. I registered online for media credentials, but I was a bit late. When I went over on the Sunday of the event, October 13th, I wandered through the exterior of where the speeches were to be held. I saw the room where the union members were provided food and drink, and then I was denied admission very politely and escorted to the press registration desk. I told them that I had registered for media credentials. They said they were full and they would put me on a waiting list. There were 2 other journalists already on the waiting list, and these 2 gentlemen were heavy hitters. One was a very well-known photographer or videographer who specializes in Southeast Asia. The other told the media people he was recently of the White House press pool. Neither one of them got in. But as I stood there for 30 minutes, watching media representatives come up and register and then be escorted into the auditorium where the speeches took place, I was shocked by the number of national media who were attending this union forum. After I was denied admission, I went back to my hotel, went online, and watched the forum live on a stream on YouTube. So no, I wasn't in the room, but yes, I could see exactly what the candidates were saying. And all of this national press could have done the same thing. They could have stayed in the comfort of their offices in New York City or Washington, D.C., or wherever they're from, and watched the event on a live stream. Instead, they traveled, probably at great expense, to Des Moines, Iowa to attend the union forum. If you're interested in the union forum, I will put a link to the 3-hour-long stream, and you can watch to your heart's content. In the notes below, I will put the timestamp on that 3-hour stream for when each candidate starts to speak. Was this forum fair? Basically, I think it was. Some of the candidates are more experienced than others. Some are more aggressive than others. Some were paid more respect than others. No one was disrespected, don't get me wrong, But Vice President Biden spoke a fair amount longer than other candidates. He spoke almost twice as long as Senator Bennet and Governor Bullock of Montana. And it was very clear that the moderator knew Biden well. They've probably known each other for decades. In terms of questions, there were some pre-recorded questions from members in various parts of the United States, but for the most part, the moderator asked the questions. And he was interested and was cordial and fair to the candidates. I think some of these candidates could have used a little more coaching. For example, both Mayor Pete and Senator Bennet sat throughout their interview, particularly when they were invited to give a closing. Neither one of them stood up and gave a closing with energy and passion. They spoke forcefully, but they spoke forcefully from a seated position. Other candidates, like Biden and Senator Harris, got up and moved around. It was as if they couldn't contain their energy. Governor Bullock got up for his closing, which appeared to me to be natural to him. The second event was a candidate forum for 4 invited candidates put on by Lulac, which stands for the League of United Latin American Citizens. It was founded in February of 1929, so it just had its 90th anniversary. The event was in downtown Des Moines, and as usual, I was worried about parking. There was a paid parking lot right adjacent to the large venue. I paid $10 to park and was delighted to do that because I think I got the next to the last parking space. And if that parking lot had been full, I don't know where I would have parked. As I walked up, I was required to register, which was fine. And there was full metal screening. This surprised me. The crowd was no more than 1,000 people. I don't even think it was that. The Lulac Forum was broadcast live as a streaming event on something called Newsmax TV. This is a free news channel that you can get on Roku and that has affiliates in something like 16 cities. But the takeaway is that it's a streaming news channel that you can watch. According to Wikipedia, it has a conservative bias. It reaches some 50 million homes. The fact that I'd never heard of it doesn't mean anything. This was a television event. I was startled by the number and quality of the TV cameras present, including a giant boom crane that could stretch out over most of the audience for whatever angle the cameraman wanted. Before the event started, we were told the rules of the event, and I recorded some of them, but to summarize, no heckling, no booing. If you did something like that, they were going to escort you from the arena. Cheering was encouraged. You could not have a sign, you couldn't wave a sign in favor of the candidate, even though the various candidates' organizations had been passing out signs. They emphasized again that it was a live stream, and it was kind of odd, but with everybody there and all ready to go, there was then a silence of 60 to 90 seconds, and then boom, the show was live and there was action and talk and whatnot. 3 of the 4 candidates appeared live, and one of them, Tulsi Gabbard, appeared by media. The Newsmax event was staged/rehearsed. There were questions from the audience, but they'd obviously been rehearsed, and they were all from the same part of the audience. It did not have the feel of a live event such as the others that I've attended. The first speaker was Raul Castro, and he's Hispanic. This is a Hispanic forum. Obviously, he was at home. I found his background interesting. I found his speaking technique comfortable. I was interested in his family background. And the day after this forum, I read in the local paper, when checking candidates' schedules, that he may be about to withdraw from the race. The second speaker was Tulsi Gabbard from Hawaii. She did not attend live, which appeared to surprise the sponsors, but she was able to give a talk by large TV screens, and at least technically the talk went off very well. It was surprising because Castro's questions were all immigration related, and Tulsi Gabbard's questions, which were recorded along with her answers, were national in scope and barely talked on immigration and issues of importance to Hispanic voters. Not sure why that was. The third speaker was Congressman O'Rourke, and it was interesting to hear him speak live. Listening to his speech afterwards, I felt the entire speech would have been appropriate for a campaign for Senate from the state of Texas. Beto has said that he's not going to run for Senate. I disagree with that strongly. I think he owes it to the party to run against the Republican senator in Texas who is vulnerable. I think Beto got a lot of credibility with Texas voters by coming so close to beating Ted Cruz last year. He referred often to the mass slaying in El Paso, and when he needed to make a point to answer a question, he always referenced Texas anecdotes and stories. So it's just natural for him to run for Senate, and I certainly hope he does. The last speaker was Bernie Sanders. I'd never seen Bernie in person before. I did not understand the tremendous amount of energy he brings to the podium. I hate to call him a bear, but as an Alaskan, that's where I lived for 24 years. That's the image that comes to mind. He's this big, almost white polar bear up there, pontificating on the subjects that are of clear, vital importance to him. In general, I was, if anything, puzzled by the Lulac forum. I know there had been other ones, and I think they were wise to only have 4 candidates come in at a time. So perhaps they've had 3 for a total of 12, or maybe they've only had 2 so far with 8, and maybe they have 4 more to go. If there is another Lulac candidate forum, I won't attend. I got very little out of it, and I'm not sure that the audience members got much out of it either. I hope this is of some use to you. This weekend, there is a large political dinner in Iowa. Most of the candidates are coming, and of course when they get here they probably schedule, or they do schedule rather, events on either side of the speech. I won't be attending the speech. I'll be out of town. I don't mind missing it. I'm going to try to learn from this experience, and where the paper advertises a political forum or what amounts to a media event, I'm not going to attend it unless I simply have nothing better to do. Thank you for watching. If you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing. If you like this video, a thumbs up is always welcome.